Hi, I'm Suresh, founder of Shasta.com Incorporated, and I run a blog under the name suresh.co.in, specifically to talk about .in domain names in the Indian domain market. What I wanted to talk today was something controversial, but the point is, I try to tell businesses not to go with your domains, not to use IT folks or even web developers for that matter alone for your domain name strategy. The reason being, most IT folks would have heard of domain names, but they don't really understand the big picture of domain names. Most of them. I'm not saying everybody. Same thing with web developers and SEO people. Okay, they will develop any domain name that you give them. Okay, and they don't. Their incentive is to develop the domain and the website. They're not incentive. Their incentive is not to get you the right domain name or the right domain names for your business. The reason being, domain names in general, including .com and .in, .co.in for India, they have at least three different things that I know of that impacts them. Okay, it's part of three different things that goes on in there. One is marketing, which seems very obvious. The second is a real estate concept. The third is the intellectual property. And marketing, as everybody knows, you need a domain name or an address, web address to market your business. It's pretty obvious, right? So domain names are the core of that, whether it's in or .co.in, it's important for India, right? So many businesses use one domain name, multiple domain names for their marketing aspects. And that's the way it's going today in India. For example, real estate companies, they own multiple domain names for their projects. Why do they do that? Because you can get traffic through multiple domain names. It's just not just your brand. You could get traffic through generic keywords, brand plus keyword, or just the words themselves. So in your industry or category, you should know what those words are. What are those keywords that make sense in your business? First thing we think about marketing is Google AdWords, right? Advertising, buying advertising on Google. There's been a lot of studies that said that owning generic keywords helps your business because it's a better strategy. Along with your brand, along with buying Google AdWords, it's important to own keywords that bring in traffic. It's more effective in terms of type-ins, in terms of click-throughs, in terms of customers coming in and actually buying your product. So you want to look at the whole strategy of getting your brand, getting keywords, and all those things in terms of marketing aspect, right? I'm just touching each one of them in a very short manner. The real estate aspect. The real estate aspect, especially with your brands, if you think about it, it's like buying a piece of land, right? You can build anything on it. You can build a hotel, you can build a resort, you can build nothing, right? Just keep the land. So companies do this all the time. They own hundreds and thousands of, literally thousands of properties, whether it's .com, .in, and it makes sense in .in, .co.in as well. So real estate appreciates over time, right? And same thing with domain names. The more valuable ones will depreciate over time, whether you use it or not. And like for example, a great property in Mumbai is not the same as a property in interior Maharashtra. Same thing with domain names. Not every domain name has same values in terms of a real estate land standpoint. So it's a very simple way to look at it because it's a piece of property you can build on, right? And it's yours as long as you own the registration. So unlike depending on social media only or just an app, even app developers have websites, right? So that's an important part. You need to have an address. You need to have a location online where people can find you. The intellectual property aspect is a tougher one for people to understand because that means you have to protect your brand for the first and foremost. So your brand names, whether you have a .in web address, you need to protect it further by actually registering .co.in if you don't have it. It's an important part of strategy because I've seen numerous times one company owns the IN, somebody else owns the co-IN in India. And that is not a good strategy for you to have because you're going to have confusion in the marketplace. Okay, and there is a method for disputes in domain names. That's called INDRP for .in. And there are disputes occurring all the time, and usually it's when brands are colliding with somebody else, right? Or somebody's registered somebody's trademark, okay, or something related to trademark. So that's the intellectual property aspect. In the intellectual property as well, you have to think about when you want generic words, it's first come, first serve basis. for the most part, you're free and clear of trademark issues. Okay, very rarely you get. Although there are some cases which come up for generic words, but most of the time you are free of trademark issues. So understanding trademarks, understanding domain names, understanding how it fits for your business is an important part. This is why I said it's not just the job of IT folks. It's not just the job of web developers and web design companies. You have to take ownership of this as a marketing manager, as a brand manager, as even a CEO. You have to understand your category and you have to understand how your brand name fits in there, how your generic words fit in there, how many extensions you have to register, the .in, .co.in, if .com is available, .com. But those are the three different things you need to think about: the marketing aspect of it, the real estate aspect of it, the intellectual property aspect of it. In my experience, those are the three different factors I think about when I think about domain names. So again, don't think of it as a small topic that just go ask the IT guy to register your domain name, which I think most of the people are doing. I think you need to do a lot more research behind it. Thank you once again, and you can reach me on suresh.co.in. I am free for discussions. I'm happy to discuss your strategy. If you want to just shoot me an email, I don't have a problem with that. Just we can talk about it. I have over 25 years in .com domain names. I've used domain names for my own business. So this is how my expertise has come into this picture, and I've been involved with .in since 2005. And with India's GDP growing, the future for .in, .co.in is going to be incredible in India. There's going to be a lot of competition too, with words that are more popular than the others, for example. So there's a lot to it. Okay, take care.